Okay, I want to thank everybody for making the efforts to being on time. We have a very large and extensive agenda today. I don't know if you've seen it, but we have 8 resolutions that have to be addressed today. So welcome back, Roland. I see that one of our newly elected assembly members is on, Ms. Jackson.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Ms. Chantel Jackson. Yeah, I don't know if you want to wait, or if you I don't know what your schedule is like. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I'll be here for a little bit.
Okay, right. Just let us know if you know if we gotta move it along because of your schedule. I don't have a problem doing that.
The same courtesy, thank you.
No. You're gonna stay the whole meeting.
Bobby, can you remind everybody to put their on mute because there's a lot of background noise?
I will mute people if I need to. I know the meeting started, so if that's what it takes, and then.
Yeah, Ralph can control that from over there. All right. And I see that the captain is on. He's pretty mean, but okay. So I want to thank everybody for making every effort to try and be on time and early. And I first want to congratulate our new assembly member, Ms. Chantel Jackson, on her election as the assembly member, which is my assembly district, the 79th. And so I want to congratulate her and welcome her to one of her first meetings in Community Board 2. And also our Senator Sepulveda. I know you're here every meeting that we have for the month, and you gotta excuse me. My dog keeps wanting to play, and she keeps bumping. And so we do have public session. Do we have anybody that wanted to talk on the public session?
We do. We got Pamela Cora, the librarian from our local library.
Okay.
And I'm going to have to just start muting everyone because I'm hearing a lot of background noise. And it's not fair to the presenter or whoever else is talking.
Well, first of all, we do that. Who's 82 at the end? Who's telephone number?
That's okay. I'm just muting everybody. Pamela. Are you there, Pamela?
I'm Ralph.
Okay, how we doing?
I'm good. How is everybody today?
Very good.
We're surviving, right?
Yeah,
so,
one
Pamela,
day at a time.
You got 3 minutes.
Okay. So I just wanted to check in with everyone. Good evening. And share some updates from the library, some resources that you or your organizations can use in the coming months, especially as times are continuing to shift and change and we're all working more virtually. So the library has now added a third method of retrieving a library card. So, of course, you can come into one of the 50 open locations that are doing grab-and-go service and present your ID and a proof of address for a card in person. You can also obtain a card through Simply E, in which you get a library card number immediately. But now there's also a web form. If you go to nypl.org, and anyone 13 or over can actually apply and get a library card that way additionally. So we have that feature coming up. We also have a couple great things for parents, families, caregivers. So we do have some after-school resources. And we are highlighting BrainFuse, which is a free tutoring service that the library has subscribed to. This in real time, once you select a session, you're matched up with a BrainFuse tutor, and they'll walk you through a multitude of subjects and different things that you kind of need help with, in addition to activities and even things for adults. If you're job searching, you're job hunting, you need to kind of polish your skills, they also have those resources as well. And lastly, the library does have a multitude of career and job placement assistance and resources. So you can sign up online for one-on-one coaching. There are different databases, guides, resume help, all of those different types of things. If you yourself or you know anyone that's looking for work, you can take advantage of all those resources, which are free with a library card. Yes?
No, go ahead. Keep on.
Oh, okay. So I'm actually going to share with Cynthia, if that's okay, later on or tomorrow, a small little presentation so that you can share with constituents, community members, everything of this sort, so that if anyone wants all of this information in one compact place, they can have it on file and share as they see fit. I'm also just going to input into the chat after I finish speaking the Google form link for our monthly newsletter. So for Community Board 2, other constituents and community members in the area, we do send out a monthly newsletter of what's going on at the library, what initiatives we're taking part in, how we can help you as parents, educators, community members, just, people that live in Hunts Point. So if you'd like to sign up for that, please feel free to do so. I'm going to put that into the chat shortly. Please stay safe. Stay connected with us. If you ever need help, please feel free to reach out to me or any of my staff members at the library, and have a good holiday season, everybody.
Same to you. Thank you very much, Pamela. And I hope everybody takes advantage of the new apps and the application form to get library cards, especially those of you who have kids and have going to get a lot of homework in the next couple of days. Hopefully we can do that. And then, is there anybody else for public session, Ralph?
No, Mr. Chair, that's what I'm aware of, Cynthia. I think that's it for public session, correct?
Back.
Okay, thank you.
Pamela's.
Thank you very much. With that, I know that we have 3 elected officials on. Do we have any quorum yet, Cynthia?
If we can unmute the callers, then I could tell you, because I'm not too sure. We have maybe like 4 callers, and I don't know who's on it. We have about 6 callers, actually, and I don't know who's who.
Who's 64 at the end? 718 and then 64, finishing with 64.
If you're muted.
Lynette.
Okay,
Lynette.
that's fine.
Hi, Lynette.
How are you?
Good. How you feeling?
I'm good. Driving in the snow and listening to the meeting.
Well, keep your eye on the road more than anything else.
Yeah.
Who's 71846? 71846. Hello? Who is 71846? Who's 914 and finishing with 11?
Bob?
I
Bobby,
think that's the sergeant.
Yeah. I'm just having some difficulties. I cannot maneuver the agenda on my end. So I'm going to, and it's not even allowing me to open a new document. So I'm just trying to work on something here. But I can move along. I can pull up the agenda on my computer, but it's not allowing me on WebEx right now.
All right, so when I finish with this, then you can...
yeah, we can move along, though, because the next item will be roll call, and I'm trying to get roll call. I'm trying to get it up, and it's not allowing me right now. So just
178 and ending with 85.
Can't answer you because they're all muted.
Oh God.
Muted. They mute themselves, and they're callers. But we gotta just move along here.
We got a couple of more board members while I was
Well,
taking
we gotta
a
find out if there are any board members there because we need to get quorum.
Well,
Yeah,
if there are any board members, so let them text me on my phone throughout the meeting, and then we can just keep going.
Hopefully they'll do it before any board members, any of these phone numbers who are board members, please text Cynthia and let them know who you are. So like that we know if we have quorum, because we have a lot of member items, agenda items that have to be addressed. We have 8 voting items. Who?
But we see you. We're talking about the people on the phone, not on video.
All right. So right now we're up to roll call.
Okay, but before I do roll call, since I have 3 elected officials online, I would like to take the opportunity to recognize them and have them say their well wishes and any statements they wish to make. So with that, I want to start with our councilman, because I know he's got another place he has to go to very quickly, and that is our councilman, Rafael Salamanca.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Chair Crespo.
Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Councilman.
I really want to first thank the board for all their hard work, and I want to thank you, Mr. Chair, for allowing me to speak, and Mr. District Manager. I want to start by yesterday was a beautiful event at the 4-1 precinct toy giveaway, and I know that the commanding officer is here and he's going to speak, so I'll let him speak. I know he gave away hundreds of toys, but it was a beautiful event. The volunteers always from the community that were present, and just the way the event was organized, I just got to give big kudos to the 4-1 precinct and the 4-1 precinct council and all the members from Community Board 2 that participated. This past Saturday, in conjunction with the Southern Boulevard Bid and Bronx Community Board 2 and the 4-1 precinct, we held our annual coat drive giveaway out of my district office. We were prepared to give out 800 coats on Saturday, but we gave out 350 coats to individuals in the community that were in need. It was a beautiful event, and it's always great to see the smiles in not only in the parents' faces, but in the kids' faces, you know, when they're getting something, especially a warm coat when it's really needed. This past Thursday, I held along with the HHC and the Department of Health, I held a COVID-19 self-testing site at my district office. We had 109 individuals from the community that got tested. It's very easy. You will go in, you swab yourself. There's a professional there. You put the swab inside of a container. It gets mailed out, and you get your results in 2 days via email. So on Thursday, for example, I got tested, and I got my results on Saturday. My negative results on Saturday for COVID. So I recommend, so we were planning on having another one tomorrow at my district office, but because of the weather, we're going to postpone it, and we're going to have another COVID-19 self-testing date out of my district office next week, Monday. And so a flyer will be out and distributed so that, you know, you can inform your neighbors and your friends. Just some clarity. The indoor dining has been suspended. So please know, for those of you that frequent restaurants, indoor dining is suspended, but outdoor dining has not been suspended. I know the weather is really bad now, but if we get some good weather where it's comfortable, I encourage you to please support your local businesses and local restaurants because they're in dire need, of financial need. As you know, there's a big snowstorm that's on us right now. The borough of the Bronx, so depending on where you are in the Bronx, you can get anywhere between 8 and 14 inches. And as a result, the mayor has canceled alternate site parking for tomorrow and Friday. They have also suspended in classroom learning. However, because we're doing remote learning, students will be required to get on remotely from home. So I think, with this whole COVID with remote learning, those days where we will have a snow day are far and gone. No more snow days for our kids. So I know it's a sad day, but it's important. And then finally, I just want to give you some important news, something that came out of my committee that we voted on today and is going to get voted on tomorrow. And it's called a franchise agreement. And I'm just going to take 40 seconds to explain it. So in the city of New York, we have Altice, which is Optimum, we have Verizon, or we have, I think, Time Warner, depending on where you are in the city of New York. When you want internet at home, because of broadband, you have to pick from those three companies. And the only reason is that you have to pick from those three companies is because in the city of New York, there's an agreement where in order for you to provide that service, you need what's called a franchise agreement, and we're capped at that franchise agreement. So in other words, they have a monopoly in terms of the internet at home, where you have to pick. So today, out of my committee, the land use committee, my committee also oversees technology. We voted on a resolution that would allow the city to open up the franchise agreement. In other words, allow other companies to come in and provide internet services to our residents. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because I'm excited because no longer will Optimum and Verizon have a monopoly. We'll be able to pick what company we want, which would mean that the prices for internet at home will go down. This is not something that's going to happen immediately tomorrow. It may take some time, but it's just exciting news to know that out of my committee, we were able to negotiate and vote on something which would save money to individuals in the city of New York. And with that, I want to thank you, Mr. Chair, for allowing me to speak. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everyone, and a Happy New Year.
The same to you and your family, and stay safe. And thank you for letting us know about the new legislation that passed your committee. I know that it's going to go before the full committee, the full council tomorrow. So hopefully they will go along with the committee's recommendation. It is a big burden on the cable that we presently have, and it's not fair. There's a lot of people that are right now losing their jobs and probably now going to lose their service and lose their phones and computers because of the COVID virus that we have now. But thank you very, very, very much on your presentation. Center is our state senator, and he's been here before. Most of you have heard of him and seen him. And so I want to introduce State Senator Sepulveda.
Thank you, Ralph. Thank you to all the board members. First of all, I want to wish everyone a happy and healthy holiday and remain safe. Wear your face mask. Do everything that we have to do to prevent COVID from coming here. Today, I participated in the 40th precinct with a toy giveaway where we gave out over 400 toys, and I was able to give out about 500 face masks because I'm on a mission to make sure that everyone in our community has face masks. To date, we've given out over 30,000 face masks. I'm out almost every day at train stations giving out masks throughout the district, and I'm going to continue to do that because we have to fight COVID. Now, legislative session is going to start soon, and we had a hearing, a meeting.
Excuse me, Senator.
Yes.
Ms. Betancourt.
Yes, Bobby.
You're not muted, and we're hearing your conversation.
Oh, thank you, Bobby. Where am I? Who am I? Okay, here we go.
I don't know.
Am I muted now? Am I muted now?
I hope so. Not yet, because I hear you.
Can you hear me? You still hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Bobby?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Ralph, can you mute her?
No.
She's muted.
Okay, thank you. Continue, Senator.
I'm sorry. So, as I said, I've given out over 30,000 face masks to date. I'm going out throughout the entire Bronx giving out face masks to anyone who needs. If anybody needs, they can call my office, and we will provide. We're also doing a coat drive. Our goal, we set a goal of about 1,000 coats to give out throughout the entire county, not just my district, because I want to help everyone who needs it. We're going to work with several local organizations and churches for distribution. So if anybody needs a coat, of course, you can reach out to us and we will help. Now, there are a couple of things that are happening. Legislative session starts in January. Now, our leader, Senator Stuart Cousins, sets up these working groups of senators who have expertise in certain areas of policy to help create laws and the budget. Now, because I was a housing attorney for many, many years before I became a legislator, the leader appointed me as one of the senators that are going to deal with housing. So I am going to either sponsor or co-sponsor many of the bills that are going to protect people and allow them to remain in their apartments or keep their homes. There are several proposals that we're talking about. One is we all want to cancel rent. We're going to either provide vouchers or direct payments to landlords. Before COVID became what it became, we had set aside $100 million to help people pay rent. The problem was that that's not even covering a few blocks in the Bronx. Right now, there is about $3.4 billion that people owe in rent, and that impacts about $1.2 million. And a lot of the disaster could potentially happen here in the Bronx. So myself and my other colleagues in the Senate that are representing the Bronx are working overtime to make sure that we either through legislation continue to protect people from being evicted or keep pressing the governor to extend the moratorium on evictions, because come the end of this year, if the moratorium is not extended, then you're going to see so much suffering in our community. So I am personally working with this group to make sure that we do that. But we also have to protect the small homeowner, the people who have 1 to 2 family houses. So as part of that working group, I'm drafting legislation that would allow us to cancel or suspend mortgages that are state chartered banks, because we don't have the power to put a moratorium on federal chartered banks. That's the president. Hopefully with a new administration, we'll have a president that's more sensitive to the needs of those that are other than the super rich. Through the budget, I'm also working like a pit bull to get more money to feed our community. There are several programs that the state runs that provide nutrition. There is the child and adult care food program, and that is available to child care centers, home-based individuals, group child care centers, or the homeless. We have to make sure that we get sufficient funding for that. We're also pushing to get more money for the commodity supplemental food program, and that is a program primarily geared towards feeding those that are 60 years and older. Also, the Growing Up Healthy hotline. Want to make sure that if people need help, they can call that hotline at 1-800-522-5006. We're going to continue to fund and work with pantries. Yesterday, I worked with a local church, and we gave out, I believe it was close to 1,000 pounds of produce to the community. We also had, we're going to be having a toy giveaway at several schools in the district. If anybody's interested in finding out, our information is being put on the chat. We're going to continue to do everything possible to make things easier for our community. We know that there is a $16 billion budget deficit in the state, and when you have budget deficits, they try to balance the budget on the backs of poor people of our communities, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that that's not the case this time around. Look, our community suffered more than most other communities with COVID. The number of deaths were starkly higher here than most of the state. So we are now putting every single effort to make sure that the governor keeps his word. And what he said was that after the essential workers, healthcare workers, are taken care of with this vaccine, then comes poor communities. And so we're going to hold the governor to his word to make sure that these vaccines come to our community that were so terribly impacted because, we're still last in healthcare metrics. We're still last on unemployment. We still have a lot of problems here. We shouldn't have problems getting vaccines here because our people suffered enough. And so that's one of the things that I am zeroing in to make sure that these vaccines come to our community. We have to work with our federal representatives to make sure that they continue to push for SNAP, for WIC, and all other food programs because the level of food insecurity in our county is just god-awful. So please, if you can contribute to a pantry or write to your elected officials to make sure that we do take care of our priorities to feed people and keep them safe and healthy so that people know that our communities are on top of this and are going to push as hard as possible to make sure we get our fair share. So with that in mind, I want to wish everyone a happy holiday. Please stay safe. Wear a face mask. Do not leave your home unless you absolutely have to. Thank you all, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Senator. And it's good to hear about the assistance that your committee might be giving to the dwellers of the apartments in this community. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be suffering, and so I want to thank you on that side, as well as people may not believe, a lot of homeowners in this community board, and it's good to hear that there hopefully some legislation to give assistance to the homeowners. I know that some banks are giving on their own, volunteered to hold back on the mortgages, but it's my understanding that some banks are including the escrow, but some banks are charging the escrow. So
anybody has an issue like that, and again, remember that our power is within state chartered banks. We can't control it.
I know
if anybody has an issue with that, with these charges or anything else, I encourage them to call my office. We have a solid legal team there, myself included. And if anybody's is not being treated fairly, is getting ripped off, or the banks are putting pressure, as well as any tenant. People have tried unlawful evictions, and people are afraid, especially our undocumented immigrant community. Again, I encourage them to reach out to us because we're here to help. And
if possible, if you could send to the office that list of state banks, if you have them by any chance.
State charter banks.
Yeah, the state charter banks. So like that, if somebody comes knocking on our door, that we know we'll ask them, and we'll see if it's a state charter bank or a federally or a federal bank.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to do that, Bobby, and thank you for the work that you do. God bless.
Thank you. The same to you. And so now it gives me great pleasure in introducing our new assembly member. I have asked Ralph to set up a meeting with her so like that we can see each other face to face, like that we know. I probably now I see her face to face. Thank you. But I gives me great pleasure. She's been a strong community advocate, and she has worked hard, and her work has been fruitful. That now she has the privilege of representing the 79th Assembly District, which is my district. I'll state again. So I wanna congratulate her, and I want to introduce her, which is Ms. Chantel Jackson.
Thank you. Good evening. Can I take you everywhere to introduce me? That would
Hey, I don't have a problem.
Good evening, everyone. This is great work that you all do. I don't need to tell you that, and it's a thankless job. I just want you to know recently, I'm having a lot of conversations with young people, and they want to know how to get involved. And I always tell them, start with your community board. It's so, it's everyone thinks that's maybe one of the smaller jobs, but the truth is that we make such big decisions at the community board level. So I'm just encouraging more people to do that. I am Chantel Jackson. I'm the Assembly-elect for the 79th Assembly District, and I cover communities like Concourse Village, Melrose, Morrisania, Claremont, East Tremont, and a little bit of Belmont. And I take office come January 1. So right now you guys have Assemblyman Michael Blake still representing us until December 31st. January 1, I will take office, but the work has not, the work has begun. I just want you guys to know. I had the pleasure of serving with the elected officials that overlap. So you'll see Senator Sepulveda and myself will do an event together. I had the pleasure of working with Salamanca during Thanksgiving to give out turkeys. And so this will happen time and time again. I think it's extremely important for us to be unified, especially during these times, to make sure we take care of our community. So just a little bit about me, because this might be our first time meeting. I am a licensed social worker. For the last 4 years, I was a licensed social worker in the New York City Public School in Long Island City. Before that, I was a college advisor sending low-income first-generation students off to college for 9 years. And so that's my work, but I label myself as a mom, as a social worker, as a community organizer, and someone who's just always advocating for people. I'm from Harlem. My mom is immigrant from Belize, which I'm very proud of. And
beautiful country.
Beautiful country. I will not disagree. I spent a lot of summers there. So so like I don't know if you guys seen Hamilton, but in Hamilton they have this great line that says, "Immigrants, we get the job done," and it's such facts because there's a different kind of drive that you have when you're not from this country because we know what real poverty looks like. So I'm very, very grateful to have my mom as a great leader that I get to look up to. So yes, I'm from Harlem, but I've lived in the Bronx and Concourse Village for the last 13 years, and pretty much have been organizing since then. Over the summer, before the summer, when COVID happened and we had to shut down, I was home, even though I was offering counseling via virtually. I was still in the streets serving people every single day. Food had to be given out, and the food lines just keep getting longer. They're not getting shorter. So that lets us know that, one, our people are still unemployed. So that's something we need to be working on. And two, there's such food insecurity happening in our community. So those are things that we need to be working to fix. And so just so you know, my goal for when I take office, my focus is wellness as a social worker, as a mom, as a woman of color. I understand how important it is for us to get our health under control. A lot of the people that we know that died from COVID had these pre-existing conditions, which made it hard for them to survive. And so if we start addressing our wellness, which we're talking about our mental wellness and our physical wellness, our spiritual wellness, our environmental wellness, when we start addressing those things, then we can start living longer. We can start having lives, successful lives. And so a lot of the work that I plan to do while in the assembly is going to have a lot to do with wellness, also with housing and education. When it comes to housing, it's really important for us to continue to create affordable housing, for us to protect NYCHA, make sure that it stays affordable for our people and is not privatized. So we want to protect NYCHA. We also want to create more homeowners because we understand that home ownership creates generational wealth. And so, it's important that we have conversations around how do we start creating a life where we don't need so much government assistance and we can start providing for ourselves. And some of those things is through home ownership and a few other things I'm going to talk about, throughout my time. When it comes to education, I feel like, yes, our kids need to learn the ABCs, but they also need to learn the RBCs, which is real estate, business, credit, and stocks. We need to be financially literate because a lot of this information has been kept from us for so many years, and now it's accessible, and we need to make sure that everyone has access to it. So we want to break this poverty curse that we have, and the way we do it is by lifting ourselves up through real estate, business, credit, stocks, all financial literacy, all things that people need to know. Just so you guys know, recently I've had some Zoom calls, some virtual meetings, one around insurance. And the reason why insurance is so important is because we lost a lot of lives, and some of the people who we lost, we could not even afford to bury them. And it's so important that we start thinking about our future, which is really hard to do. I'm not acting like it's not. It's hard to do, one, when we're unemployed, and two, when we're scrapping for just to live through today. But our insurance will allow us to, one, bury our loved ones, but two, insurance is for the living, meaning you can borrow against it. There are different things we can talk about with insurance, but I just want people to know that these are things that we have to start having conversations around in our community because there's not enough of it. On Saturday, and I'll make sure that you guys receive information, but Saturday I'm doing a toy giveaway inside Andrew Jackson's houses from 12 to 2. We've already collected about 400 toys, and I won't be there personally, but my team will definitely be out there ready to help everyone to make sure that every child leaves with a toy. So that's this Saturday, 12 to 2, in Andrew Jackson houses on the basketball court.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely, and I'll make sure that you guys.
I just like to know, just for general information, what committees you will be assigned to?
So no, they haven't told us yet, but the committees that I've asked for was education, housing, higher education, health, mental health, and I can't remember the rest of them, but those are the 5 that I know for sure I've asked for. and I won't find out what committees I get until January. So
Oh, you want to stay busy up there, don't you?
Oh, 100%. I'm going to keep my foot on their necks because we're going to take every dollar that they owe us in our community and use it for our good.
Amen.
I just
Amen
want you
to
guys
that.
to know that I'm going to keep the same office that Michael Blake has, which is 780 Concourse Village West, and the phone number is the same as well. Let me tell you what that is now. It's 718-538-3829. So the address is the same, the phone number is the same, and you'll be able to communicate with me there. I'll drop my email address in the chat one more time, and I just want to thank you all for having me here. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or you want to, collaborate on anything, and have a happy and safe holiday. And I cannot wait to see you guys at our next meeting.
Thank you very much, Assemblywoman-elect. And by the next time we see each other, it'll be Assemblywoman. And I wish you many great endeavors. I was a former staff member in the state legislature, so I know how much work goes up there in 3 days. But I definitely would like our district manager to reach out to you, so like that I can give you a little briefing with what we do, other things that we do besides the normal city stuff that we do. There's also some community issues that we have, some legislation that we have some concerns with. So that's coming out of the state. One of the state members is putting it up, which is it's sort of I don't know what they call it, but we call it the Streetwalkers bill. In Hunts Point, we've had that problem. So and we deal with a lot of liquor licenses that sometimes we have a lot of issues with, and so we would like to have meet with you to discuss these issues.
So
okay.
He has my number, so he can call me. He knows that.
Yes, he will.
Repeat that number, please.
The office number? Okay. So it's 718, and I'm typing in the chat too. 718-538-3829.
Thank you.
Okay? No worries.
Thank you. And I believe I got one more elected official that just came on, and she's been on for a little while. Not that she just came on, but I was just told that she was on. And that is our other council member who has been with us a few times, and her representative has always been there, been here for our meetings. Council member Ayala.
Thank you for having me, guys. It's always a pleasure to be here. I'm sorry for the background noise. I have children in the house that refuse to be quiet when I'm on Zoom.
Welcome to the family. That's all.
we're all adjusting. I keep telling them I'm on a call, please. But thank you. I've been actually I'm really excited to be here because I've been meaning to get on for the last couple of months. Hoping that everybody is safe and that everybody's doing well, in spite of everything that's going on, and really want to applaud the board's efforts. I've seen you guys out there hustling and really addressing a lot of the issues that are affecting our communities now. I know food insecurity has been a huge issue, and I want to just really thank you guys for being out there, because realistically it takes a whole village, right? It takes the entire community to kind of come together in a time of need, and we really appreciate the support, and I hope that you feel the support coming from us as well. We've been really busy in the South Bronx. Again, like many of you, hitting the ground, trying to address a lot of these food insecurity issues that really impacted specifically our elderly population. So ensuring that our senior buildings have access, to regular food boxes, and just making sure that everybody is doing well. But I wanted to just, and again, I don't know if I missed this in the beginning of the meeting. We know that the numbers in the South Bronx, specifically Port Morris, Mahaven, are really, really high right now, higher than we would want them to be. And so we're encouraging people to get tested as frequently as possible, even if you're not symptomatic. It's really, really important. I'm trying to myself to get tested at least every 2 weeks because, we interact with a lot of people in the community. My office is open. I'm out out and about. I have people coming in and out of my household as well. I was sick in April. Believe me, if you haven't been sick, I'm happy for you. But it's not, it's not anything that I would wish on anyone. We've lost too many people this year. It can be avoided if we follow some really strict guidelines. So we're asking. I know Rafael has his office. He's been using it as a testing site. I'm sure that he probably brought it up. But if that's not an option for you, Lincoln Hospital, there are just so many opportunities where you can get tested. I think, one of the things that we are thinking about and talking about is really having a larger conversation as the vaccine becomes available, right? So many people in our communities are just really afraid of what that means, and should they take it now, and is it too soon, and was it rushed? I know, in my household, that's a conversation I have with my mother. Just yesterday, she announced that she doesn't plan to take it, right? She's afraid of it because there's so many symptoms and so many side effects to it. So, it's really about educating the community and ensuring that we're all comfortable where we are. But this is an opportunity that has been presented to us, and I think that we need to learn more about it so that as a community we're more comfortable. Also, really wanted to put on your radar, because I think that this is something that if you can share with your friends, your family members, we're starting to see an uptick of eviction cases that are being filed against residential tenants. We hadn't seen it until literally just about 2 weeks ago. It had been pretty silent, really quiet. When the state offered funding for rental assistance, we got some applications, but not really too many. I'm not sure what to make of that. We do, represent a community that's heavily subsidized. So, I wasn't sure what to make of it. And now we're seeing all of these cases showing up, people just coming to the office with the actual eviction notice. The moratorium is set to expire. We'll assume that, that it'll be extended. However, if you're delinquent on rent, your landlord may already be filing some type of action. So we want to be prepared for that as a community. We don't want to see, mass number of people being evicted. We don't want to see one person unnecessarily evicted. So again, this is about really educating the community around those services that exist, that are in place already to help people with rental arrears. This is Con Edison is also accommodating. So if you have if you haven't been able to pay the Con Edison bill, you can make a payment plan. They're being super flexible because they understand the circumstances. But too many of the people that we represent are going to need these resources, and so it's going to take all of us to kind of get that information out. So we're going to be circulating some flyers and some information, and we'll share it with the board. Hopefully, you can share it with your members, and the members can share it with their friends and families, and we'll try to do a mass effort to go into the community and actually post places where people can see, because, we have to also be mindful that not everybody's connected to the internet. Thank you all, and I hope that you all have a safe holiday, and hope to see you all again next year.
Thank you, Madam Council Member, and
Can I ask a question, Bobby, please?
yes, ma'am.
Councilwoman Ayala, this is Paula Fields. And the reason why more than likely that you haven't gotten a lot of responses with the applications, because I'm sure no one in my district knew about it, first of all. Second of all, how do they go about getting eviction to a tenant? Is housing court open now?
Housing court is not, well, they are open. They're not open. They're not fully open, but they are open in the sense that landlords have been able to get, eviction notices already granted, printed, and, sent over to the tenants. I don't think they're having hearings, though. I don't think that they're actually, starting any cases, because the moratorium is still in place until next year, but there are other reasons that, landlords would try to get an eviction. We haven't put out anything yet, so people wouldn't be responding to us. I just want to clarify that. I think that, Yeah, I'm not sure. What I was trying to say is that I was really surprised that more people had not come to me yet or to our office asking for assistance with rental, resources.
Okay, I just hope you're, as you go moving forward with evictions and tenants, that you're mindful because there's a language barrier and a lot of old tenants that have been in their apartment for 40 or 50 years. Those landlords want those apartments like they want ice cream. So, they would, gentrification is very clear and near to us and the community board too, and we're watching it like a hawk. So I'm hoping your staff could be mindful and just track who's being evicted, because they'll evict a 100-year-old person, that had an apartment for 70 years, and that's like outrageous.
No, and there are services we have. We have right to counsel, so that individuals can connect to an attorney to get guidance. And what we're doing is that we're documenting on our end and just compiling a list and sharing that information with the tenant support unit so that they are aware of what's happening and come up with a strategy to really inform the general public, right? So we're working on it, but we would appreciate any assistance on your end as well.
Okay, and you can definitely link up with me because I'm the chair of the housing committee. I can get the information out to the tenants in my district that would definitely take advantage, and the need is definitely there. I really appreciate you and have a happy holiday.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Council Member. Is there anybody else wishing to ask the council member a question? Not hearing none. I want to thank you, and you have a safe and healthy Christmas, and stay safe, and a happy New Year. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. With that, I know that we still have some elected officials' reports, but I want to go back to the agenda, and with that, let me just scroll down a little here.
We got a roll call, Bobby.
I know. I gotta scroll down.
Well, actually, I'm sorry. We have the commanding officer report first.
No, well, yeah. Let me just scroll down, Ralph. You got me a little confused there. Okay, commanding officer's report. Captain Shublin. How you doing, sir?
I'm okay, Mr. Chairman, and yourself?
I'm hanging in there, trying to stay out of trouble.
That doesn't sound like any fun. So good evening again to everybody. As the council member already mentioned, we did have the opportunity yesterday evening to do our holiday toy giveaway, the second one of this size. Since I have been here, probably my favorite thing to do.
Cap, wait a second. Mr. Nadeem Fukin, you got to unmute yourself.
I'll do it. I get it. I'll get it. Go ahead, Captain.
Thank you, Cap.
So as the council member already mentioned, we did have the opportunity yesterday to do our holiday toy giveaway. So the second one of this size that we're able to do since I've been here. Probably my favorite thing to do here in the 4-1, other than just hanging out and speaking with Clarabelle Sokola, because that's always a great time. So we had the opportunity to distribute more than 1,000 toys to the children and family of Hunts Point and Longwood. Very significant event. Yesterday and on other occasions, I have Clarabelle or Detective Jude do my thank yous because there's just so many to say, so many people to mention, but I'll name a few if you don't mind. So many people were involved. Really was a great event, a great time for everybody that was there. Most notably, of course, the children that came away with the toys. So just a few thank yous, of course. We did this along with the 41st Precinct Council, the President, Cedric Simmons, and Ray Arroyo, Mike Diaz with Santa Claus. Special thanks to him. Cedric brought the Grinch. I heard the guy flew in from Las Vegas just to be the Grinch, so we really appreciate that. Most notably out of those names, I have to say, Cedric and Ray Sherman, saw you there as well. Don't want to forget you. Cedric and Ray, every day for about the last week and change. I've been heavily involved in doing this. I appreciate you. I appreciate your partnership. Detective Juth, very much involved for the last week. Councilmember Salamanca, for your partnership in this event. Thank you so much. Community Board, too, as always. Mr. Chairman, you're right. We did miss you there, but I have to tell you, the rest of the team, they held it down and represented for you. So we always miss you, but we know you're there at just about every other event we have. Thank you all so much.
You're probably the only one that misses me.
I promise you that's not true. Southern Boulevard Bid, for their partnership, many of our clergy, we did have the opportunity to briefly establish our clergy council a couple of months ago, and some of them were there for the event as well. So a special thanks to them. The coat drive, we sent some officers over to help out with the coat drive conducted by the council member. Just those two events in the last couple of days, you really get to see the need that still exists in this community. So many people helping out, so many resources being poured in, yet amazing to see that there's still somewhat of a need. And you see it when the kids are in line and the people are waiting to get a coat. You see that there is a legitimate need. So we're just really blessed with the opportunity, fortunate to have the opportunity to be a part of it and to help out. In addition to that, and most notably for the police department, it's more than 1,000 positive interactions that our officers are able to have with the children and families of this community. And so I'll be very brief on how important that is to us, but I will say that we know that probably less than 1% of this community is really involved in the violence and incidents that we have to address here in the Fort Myers. So that means 95 to 99% of the community might not have the opportunity to interact with our officers. And we have some very special people that are police officers here, and we want to give that 99% of the community an opportunity to meet and have a positive interaction with our officers so they see them for the people that they are and not just what they might hear on TV or read somewhere else. What I love about this neighborhood and everybody that I deal with is how real they are, and I want to give them a real opportunity to meet and know our officers. So it was a great event. I love it. We've done a few others with you all and the council member, and we definitely look to do some more. Any suggestions or anything more that fits what's going on now where we can participate, we would love to do it. Couple of personnel mentions I wanted to make here in the 411. I know you all know the team here very well. So first and foremost, Clarabelle Socola, who really runs the 411, as I like to say.
Don't tell her that.
She can't hear me now, but I tell her all the time. Socola, we call her. Listen, she's back. She's back, and it's so great to see her. She was here yesterday. She was just here today. So if you get a minute, I know many of you have spoken to her already, just to shoot her a text. She's back, so we love that. Again, Detective Juth as well for her participation in the event. As far as personnel, Captain Moya, my partner, also here in the 401. I'm the commanding officer. He's the executive officer. He's moved on from the 401. We pushed very much not to get him out of here, but for him to move on and continue his career. He's doing one more stop as an executive officer, and then he'll be a commanding officer. So that's kind of the succession that goes. It's a good thing. He wanted to be here tonight to speak to all of you, but because of the snow, he's kind of wrapped up in his new assignment. He will be reaching out to many of you. Our Sergeant Soriano, Mr. Chairman, I think you call him the camera guy. So he was our public safety sergeant at night. Was responsible for removing a whole lot of firearms, illegal firearms, from this community over the last year and a half.
Yes.
He's been promoted to the rank of lieutenant. So as great news as that is, he's got to move on from the 401 for now. So we'll look to scoop him back up. He's been with me my last 4 stops, 10 years, was my driver when I was a lieutenant. Been with me 4 stops, 10 years. So this one, he's got to move, and we're going to look to scoop him back up as soon as we can. Want to be here as well in a new assignment. Still in the Bronx, both still in the Bronx. We're keeping everybody close in this borough. A couple more things. On to crime. Be as brief as possible. We speak about our 7 major index crimes. Always 7 major. Those are felony index crimes. Is how we gauge crime in the community. I'm proud to say, and you should all be too. I'm not just saying it. There's a tremendous partnership we have here to get these numbers for this decrease in crime. Too many stories to repeat, as I always say. We work in partnership with all of you for this decrease in crime. Currently show a decrease of 17%. Decreases in 6 out of 7 felony index crime categories. That's for the current period, of course. Slightly smaller decrease for the year to date, but for the period we're down 6 out of 7 index crime categories. So no murders for the period. Even for crime of rape, even for crime of robbery, decrease of 54% in the crime of felony assault, decrease of 21% in the crime of burglary, and a decrease of 23% for the crime of grand larceny. Where we do have our increase is in grand larceny auto, and I just wanted to make a brief mention about this category. And I know I mention it all the time, but the message, we're taking many steps to get this message out there, but somehow people still do it. So we never want to blame the victim. Grand larceny auto is a property crime, so it's slightly less priority than robbery, but it's important to us. We never want to blame the victim. But I've had 9 cars stolen here in the 4-1 last week, and 6 out of those 9 were people that got out of the car in front of a store and left their keys in the ignition. So anybody that you could tell, anybody at all that you could speak to, please let them know to not leave their keys in the ignition if they could. I know it's cold out and they're running into the store maybe to get milk for their child, but if they leave the keys in the ignition, we have people who are actively looking for that, and it's just too easy for them to steal the car. So anything that we can relay in regards to that would be great. We're doing a tremendous amount of work, made several arrests in regards, but again, it's just too easy for them to do it. We had a shooting this morning. We have seen a little bit of violence lately. The shooting that we had this morning occurred about 3 o'clock in the morning at 149 Street and Timpson Place. We know that there's some type of dispute at that corner. We don't know where our victim and his friend were coming from because they won't tell us. But we see on video that they got involved in a dispute. Maybe somebody was trying to rob them, and our victim gets shot one time in the leg, and he jumps on a city bus to go to the hospital. So he gave us conflicting stories about where it actually happened, but we traced it back to that location. Really all that we have on that right now. We will be following up. It's, of course, makes it a challenge for my partner, who's the squad lieutenant here, Carlos Felipe, to investigate that when the victim won't really tell us what happened. So, but we're doing what we can. We had several notable gun arrests also this week. Great amount done here. Once working closely with a community member. So, again, thank you all. Anything that I can do, please reach out. We have a new XO, Captain Piper. I know at the earliest opportunity he'll be speaking to you all as well. Thank you all again. Have a happy holidays and God bless.
Thank you, Captain. I want to tell you that Detective Youth was very helpful at the coat drive. She had a tremendous amount of auxiliary police officers there. They helped us move that line quickly, and I want to thank her, and I want to thank you for the leadership on that. It went very smoothly. I was there with our district manager and several of our board members, Larry Robinson, and I know Maggie was there, and so I want to thank you for that. Also, I hope Lieutenant Soriano took his camera with him. He takes great pictures. I feel bad for us because I know how much of a good job he did with apprehensions of those carrying firearms, and so it hurts us to a level. But knowing him, he's probably fighting somebody downtown to try and get back up here. So I really want to thank you. And I want to thank you for and I'm sorry I wasn't there yesterday, but I believe you have another one on Friday. Am I correct?
We do. So Downtown Community Affairs is doing a sleigh ride. The new Chief of Community Affairs, Chief Madry. Okay, so the new Chief of Community Affairs, Chief Madry, it did a sleigh ride previously in Brooklyn North. Now he's taking it citywide. He's doing 3 commands in the Bronx, and we really advocated to be on that list. I did just hear that it was being moved from Friday until Sunday due to the weather.
Okay.
It's going to be on Oneida. It's kind of a select group, and so I guess maybe we'll see you there.
Yeah, if you changed it to Sundays, even better for me. All right. I want to thank you on all the work you've done. I don't want to lose you, so if you hear something in the winds, let us know, because the relationship this community has had with the 4-1 has never been any stronger and better than while you've been at the forefront.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Can I say something?
Yes, Paula.
Hey, Captain. Wonderful job. I'm so happy. Everything worked out. It was so awesome. The decorations were beautiful, and I'm sure everyone just had a nice time from what I could see. Congratulations.
Thank you, and thank you for your hand in it too. I had you on the list here too. Thank you. I know.
Happy holidays.
I know you were helping out a lot over the last week also.
And with that, thank you, Captain. And with that, we will now go into our business session. All of those that are visiting that are not board members, please understand that we need to conduct the business at hand. And so, Cynthia or Ralph, do we have quorum?
Bobby, we gotta go. We gotta do a roll call. Let's do the roll call. We'll be able to determine that. That's where we're up to now. Roll call.
All right. So with that happening, let me just Delvis Austin. Are you Yvonne? What am I?
We gotta let Yvonne do it, please. Yeah. All right. Let's. Okay.
All right. Good evening.
Out of it, but
that's fine. Good evening, everybody. I'm going to go through this quickly. If you please, if you hear your name, please unmute yourself and let me know you're here. Delvis Austin Jr. Love Bentecourt. Miles Burnett. Luis Castillo. Paula Fields Conyers. Stephanie Cordero. Here. Robert Crespo, sorry.
I think I'm here.
Altagracia Cruz. Julia Cruz. Kevin Allison. I think she's here, right? Didn't I? No, it was Barbara, I heard. Pascual Gomez.
I'm sorry, Yvonne.
Pascual is here.
Pascual
is on the phone.
He's on the phone.
Thank you. Shataria McCoy Gregg.
Here.
Alexandra Guadalupe. Jesse Harris. Shaquan Hunt. Kelvin.
Here.
Jeffrey Korn. LaShawn Lindsay. Talia Simone Lindquist. Barbara Lopez. Roland Lopez.
Me out where my car has to come out? Oh.
Roland is here, right?
Time out. Time out. Ms. Betancourt. Love.
I muted her.
Okay,
Let's move on.
Thank you, Ralph. Go ahead, Yvonne.
Nicholas Mario. Luis Marrero.
Lois was excused. He had a prior event that he had let everybody know that he had to do at the executive committee.
All right, cool. Cedric McClester.
Wait a minute. Cedric was just done.
Cedric is here.
Monique Menace. Reverend Moses. Lynette Olmo.
Lynette is on. She's on the call. She's driving, but she's on the call.
I'm here.
Sylvia Sanchez. Richard Sherman.
Here.
Viancy.
Here.
Yeah.
Marilyn Roten.
Maria's here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Marilyn Roten. All right. Pastor John Udu. Right.
We have quorum. We have 25 present.
Thank you very much. With that,
Sonia Ferguson, I'm here.
So Sonia is here, so that's 26.
thank you very much, everybody. And so with that, with the roll call being occurring, adoption of minutes. Again, we don't have the minutes, but it's being recorded. And once we had the whole proceedings are being recorded. Once we are known that we can be seeing each other face to face, we will have all the minutes available and the recordings of the minutes. So this way you can check them, and if there's any adjustments, we will make them at that time.
But Mr. Chair, can I just have a point of clarity?
Yes.
So we do have a YouTube channel, and all of our full board meetings, these videos, since we've been doing videos, are uploaded onto our YouTube channel. So anyone can, just type in I think it's Bronx Community Board 2 in YouTube, and you'll be able to see these videos online. So I just want to make sure that we're aware of that.
I know you had told me about it. I forgot to mention it, but thank you, Ralph. If Cynthia can send another email out to the board members on this, so that they can review it themselves on their own time.
Yeah, Danielle is on the call too. Danielle, just put it in the chat.
Danielle's on?
Put all our handles. Yeah, put all our social media handles on the chat. Danielle, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle. I didn't know you were on. I'm sorry. I would have recognized you a long time. All right. Okay. With that is my report. Very short. The executive committee met the other day, and there was some concerns with attendance, and those individuals will be contacted to make themselves available via virtual, and we will discuss their issues. They'll be handled one person at a time, and hopefully everybody responds to the request. Also, I will have the disciplinary committee meeting on an individual that unfortunately I believe was not professional at a public meeting, and I did get wind of it, and it was sort of embarrassing on my part. I apologize to the individuals and they told me that it was okay. They, they were not. That one person is not destroying the relationship of the community board with that organization. Because the disciplinary committee will be doing this, I cannot divulge any information, and they will be contacting the individual, and they will be handling the situation. The other thing is that I want to thank all those board members that had well wishes for all of us and helped us during the coat giveaway, during the last night at the 4-1 precinct giveaway. I know that there were some people helping the councilman during the coronavirus testing. So I want to thank all of those who have participated and gave your time in making sure that our community stays healthy and safe. Outside of that, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa, and a healthy, and hope that in 2021, those that we have lost, they go to a better place today, and that in 2021 that this virus injection will help us all, that we can all meet again face to face. That's all, Ralph.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. So I'll be as brief as possible with the district manager's report. Good evening, everyone. And I know it's already 7:20, and we're just getting into the business section. I'll be as brief as possible. Larry Robinson, second vice chair, brought to my attention on certain mailboxes in the district that appears to have some type of glue material. So when people are putting in the mail, it's actually getting stuck. So Larry brought to my attention four mailboxes, and I just want to let Larry know that the post office sent me an email, and they repaired all 4 of those mailboxes that you brought to our attention. So I just want to bring that up. That just actually occurred today. And on that same note, I just want to also make everyone please be vigilant. There's a lot of scams going on now, in particular with a lot of phone calls. So certain agencies from like Social Security, even now to the Department of Health, they normally don't phone call you, right? You would get a letter. And I'm particularly more cautious about now with the COVID vaccine coming out. A lot of people I can see trying to get scammed with that. So just want to make sure that it's on everybody's radar to, this is the season, this is the season where unfortunately a lot of people get scammed and can lose significant amount of monies. So just keep that in mind. We're also now we're experiencing our first snowstorm of this winter season. So I hope everyone is bundled up and got all the resources and stocked up whatever they need to, at least to bunker down for a day or two, and just remain as safe as possible. And that's probably just staying at home. I also want to talk about the traffic on the Bruckner Boulevard. We met in the Economic Committee, Economic Development Municipality with State DOT. I think Maria's on, so Maria might be able to talk about that. And finally, about these events that we're having. So we've been participating with the council member with his Coke giveaway and a bunch of different food giveaways. We participated yesterday with the precinct council on theirs. Excuse me. We're about to have our own toy giveaway, hopefully, weather permitting. So just please follow us on social media. Reach out to the office. By the way, the office is still closed because the building is still closed. And but you can always reach out, call us, or send us an email. And just a safe holidays for everyone. And I just want to also thank Cynthia and Danielle for all the hard work that they do, holding the office together. So thank you.
Thank you, Ralph. And that concludes the district manager's report. The borough president's report.
Good evening, Community Board 2. I'm so happy to see and hear all of you on the call tonight. The Native Borough President newsletter has been sent to the boards and the members. Anyone who hasn't received it, please write in the chat and I will forward it to you. The Bronx Borough President's office will be engaged in broad messaging to get more people to testing sites. Homebound adults can call the Department of Health or 311 to have self-kits delivered directly to their home and shipped via FedEx for next day results. So anyone who is interested in that, please look into that. I'll also put that in the chat. Also on our website, we are now posting the case rate on our website by zip code. Also, and we have the latest testing sites updated every Monday. Now, just for information for my board members, reappointment applications for members whose term expires in 2021 will be mailed out this month with a return date of February 5th, 2021. So again, that date is February 5, 2021. In addition, new applications will be accepted until February 5th as well. And the application for membership is available on our website. And with that being said, the Borough President extends his best wishes for a happy and healthy holiday season and best wishes in 2021. I want to thank, our office wants to thank all of the members of the community board, especially the district manager and the office staff for all of their work during a very, very difficult 2020. And we look forward to a healthier and safer 2021. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Alexis. I appreciate that. Happy holidays.
And give our regards to the Borough President. Any representatives out there? Ralph, do we know? Hold on a second.
Yeah, let's go down the list. I think Suri's on.
Suri,
so, Suri, you're here? Suri was.
All right. Okay. But I'll go down the list that I have here. Suri, you on?
Yes, good evening. Can you hear me and see me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Now I got it.
Bobby, good evening, Ralph. Good evening, members of Committee Board 2. I appreciate you all because I know that you are doing everything to keep the community serviced. So I just want to praise you because I'm aware that you have been doing a lot of work, specifically inside the test and trace team and the OHMH, making sure that people get access to tests. One of the things that I wanted to communicate to the community board is we are preparing to have people vaccinated. So you're going to start to hear a lot more about the COVID-19 vaccine. And one of the things that we want to make sure is that in addition to having the vaccine available, we want to talk about the fears that people have, because I know that some folks have certain hesitations about the vaccine. And one of the best things that we can do is to make information available so people make informed choices. So if you have any concerns or if there's any information that you need, just please reach out. It is our responsibility to get you the best information so you make an informed decision. As everybody knows, there is a snowstorm out there. I appreciate the fact that you kept the meeting going. But I know that after the storm is over, I know that there are going to be certain complaints. So I'm going to drop my information in the chat box so you can reach out directly to me. Ralph and I are always in communication, so I'll probably drive by the district to see what is the damage. And probably we may have the mayor coming to the area of the Bronx, but that will be determined as events progress. Thank you very much, everyone. Happy holidays. And again, I appreciate all the work that everyone is doing.
Thank you, Suri. And I just need to know, when there's big snowstorms like this, is sanitation preparing to hire hourly workers?
Done. I know that NYSHA had already started hiring people, or at least they have people that they have on standby. And I do think that also sanitation. I can get that back to you.
Sorry, they are, and we posted it on our page already, Crystal. Danielle put it up.
Okay.
The information on our Twitter page. They can apply with sanitation.
So Larry, if you got people. Because you're always asking about jobs, at least temporary jobs. You go on the website and you get the info, Larry.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
So, sorry, is that it?
Can I just say one last thing?
Sure, definitely.
So, we will have a face mask, and I know that people may not have asked about face shields, but we will have face shields for distribution. So if you're in need of face shields, face masks, even ponchos, please reach out. I'll be more than happy to get you those. So again, I'll drop my information in the chat box so you can reach out to me directly. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you. Anytime for you. I know that Senator Sepulveda spoke. Is there a representative for Senator Biaggi?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Angel. I know you guys are familiar with Emmanuel. I believe he's also on the call. He has an update to give to you all. Emmanuel?
Hey, good evening. Hi, hello, everyone. So let me just start off with the report. So as you know, Senator Biaggi has been working with assigning. Well, actually, she's been working with partnering up with Councilmember Vanessa Gibson this past week with food drive and also help mass distributions and within NYCHA. So that's something that she's been working on. I know Angel has the rest of the report, but I also wanted to mention, and it will be, I'm actually going to mention that I will be leaving this office. We'll be representing Chantel Jackson as one of her chief of staffs. So I want to thank Ralph. I want to thank Chairman Crespo and also Cynthia for helping me throughout this experience within this district. And also, of course, CB2. If there's anything that you guys still continue to need, I'll definitely be available. As you know, Chantel Jackson actually still represents CB2, so this is something that is very interesting to me, that, I will be able to work along with you guys. So I appreciate the time. Thank you so much, and have a good rest of the evening.
Thank you, Emmanuel.
Yes, and just for the rest of the announcements from Senator Biaggi's office, I know I sent this flyer over to Cynthia, but there's going to be free COVID testing, no appointment required, no cost, at the Hunts Point Playground on the corner of Filch and Spofford Avenue. It started on Monday, and it's going to be going through Friday from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. But of course, because of the snowstorm, those hours have been adjusted a tad. Additionally, Senator Biaggi's office will be closed for the holiday until January 4th, but of course our office will make itself available during the holiday break. I added my information into the chat, but I'm going to drop it down again just so that folks have it. We will be available, although our office is closed on an emergency basis. Also, we donated some toys, headphones, and PPE to the Hunts Point Community Partnership. It was a blast working with them, and we will continue to support all of the work that they're doing. And from our office, we want to make sure that you guys all have a happy and safe holiday. Please stay warm, stay dry, and continue to reach out if you guys ever need any help, whether that's with heat, hot water, power, you name it. Everyone on this call has done an amazing job in response to COVID. So I want to say thank you to everyone here as well.
Thank you, Angel. Just so like that, we before you hear it from any of my board members, I'll say it. Again, we keep sending the invitation out to the senator. This is actually just virtual. As you've seen and you've heard, we bring in the elected officials if they make themselves available. We jump the agenda up to them as quickly as possible. So the invite is still there for her to come and be part of. We know Emmanuel has done this, but we would like to see the senator. I'd like to have a meeting with Ralph and her to discuss an issue at Club W and where it stands. I'd like to know where that's going, and furthermore, and it's a little to me, it's a little insulting that she is helping out Councilmember Gibson, but in all true honesty, the people in this community that she represents has not seen her in any of the events. and I'm sorry, I'll say it, because people know that I'll say it. I may get myself in trouble, but, you know, I have to say it because I have to represent my community. And so...
Of course. And I appreciate you saying that. And I will 100% relay that message to Senator Biaggi. And I will encourage her to be at the following meeting next month, for sure.
Thank you.
And I will work with you and Ralph to set up a meeting with her virtually so that you guys can talk about the club. Is it Club X or Club W?
Club W.
Club W. About the Club W issue, because that is something that has been flagged.
Okay. Thank you. Assembly member, that's wrong, Ralph. That's not Arroyo. It's Septimo.
Still technically Arroyo.
Okay,
he has
right.
not got sworn in. So
Is Assembly member elect Septimo on? No? Okay. We heard from Council Member Salamanca. Maritza, are you on? You got anything to say?
Happy holidays. Hope to see you next year.
Hope to see you too. Council members spoke, but Gloria, are you on?
Yes, I'm on. I'd just like to wish everyone good and safe holidays. And I keep the staff on. I'm not sure if he's going to say anything, but I yield for him.
Okay, thank you. City planning, anybody?
Jose Rodriguez, you want to say anything, Jose? I'm sorry, Bobby.
Rodriguez, from where?
From Councilmember Ayala's office. How are you?
Ayala's Chief of Staff, yeah.
Chief of Staff to the council member. Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries. How you doing? Felicidades a todo. Thank you, Chair. Hi. Thank you, Chair. Also, thank you, District Manager as well. Just want to wish everyone a happy holiday. Just also want to alert really quickly, the council member outlined several items. And I know the District Manager also outlined there are certain issues that are happening out there in terms of individuals calling, in terms of scams, COVID testing, and trying to get ahead or be on some type of vaccine list. One of the things that the council, that's something I want to reiterate. And just lastly and briefly, the council member just recently wrote a letter along with Council Member Levine to the Commissioner of Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, just asking the city and the administration to look at the need in terms of prioritization, in terms of vaccination to those individuals with developmental disabilities and emotional issues. And I just want to highlight that they sent out that letter just recently. And lastly, thank you all for allowing me to say hello to you, and happy holidays to everyone.
Definitely, Jose. I didn't know that you had taken over as Chief of Staff, but it's good to know that you're there. Very good to know.
We have Monica from Penny Burgos.
Dean, how are you? God bless you.
God bless.
So my name is Monica, and I'm representing Assembly Member Kenneth Burgos, and we have done our transition to the new office, and I am very happy to serve the 85th district. We've been serving constituents by appointments, and as you was addressing before in reference to everyone getting evicted, there's a lot of people out there getting evicted, and they're getting a lot of landlord threats. So it's very important for us to address that issue. So I put my information in the chat. If there's anyone that would like to reach me, I put my email and my phone number. And thank you for having us here. And happy holidays, and God bless.
A quick question, Monica. You say your new office. Did you guys move out of Manor Street?
Well, no. We just moved to that office 2 weeks ago. Yes, at the 1165 Manor Avenue. So it's the same office.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
We have Anderson Ortiz from the Controller's office.
Monica, just give our regards to the Assemblyman and tell him that we wish him a Merry Christmas. That hopefully Ralph will set up a meeting with all the new Assembly members so like that we can address some concerns that we have with the state.
Will
Okay.
do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're
Who do we
welcome.
have?
Anderson Ortiz from the controller's office.
Anderson.
Evening. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
First and foremost, we want to thank everyone for your diligence this year so far, your resilience in making sure that the district continues to move forward. There were great events this past few days, hosted by the board, by the council member, and by the 41st Precinct. Awesome events. Thank you for putting that together. On behalf of the comptroller, I'm not going to report much on the concerns that we currently are seeing. Right now, a couple of us, like myself, are driving around the district to see what is going on with some of the streets. CB9 just came from CB2 as well. Sanitation is still not out, plowing certain major streets and especially hills along the districts, which is something that is worried our office a lot. We're probably going to contact sanitation about certain streets. So besides that, there's something in Fox Street, District Manager, I'm not sure if you're aware, Fox Street, Loretto, the triangle that meets Fox Street, Barrera, and Simpson Street. DOT has not completed putting up ramps after doing certain sidewalks for now about 3 weeks. I think they just completed 2 sides. They're missing 2 sides. So if you're a person with disabilities, so in a wheelchair, for the last 2 to 3 weeks, you haven't been capable of using these ramps to go up the sidewalk or down the sidewalk. Besides that, this report, Merry Christmas if you celebrate it, and have a great New Year.
Thank you.
You send me an email? Just send me an email with that because I wasn't aware of the ramps. So there is a schedule that they try to maintain, and but if they're delayed with something, I need to know what's going on there. So just put that in an email for me, please.
We have Polanco, Brian Polanco. Sorry. I don't know if
Hey, can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I hope everybody's well and is staying warm with this first snowstorm of 2020. Well, technically first snowstorm towards the end of 2020. So my name is Brian Polanco. I'm the Bronx Borough Advocate for the Office of the Public Advocate. And just to get some logistical things out the way, our office is still conducting constituent services. We're doing so remotely in order to contact our constituent services department. The number is 212-669-7250. Again, 212-669-7250. Their email is gethelp@advocate.nyc.gov. Again, gethelp@advocate.nyc.gov. And recently we put out our worst landlords watch list for the city of New York. It highlights the top 10 worst landlords within the city of New York. And just to give a quick highlight on that, we put NYCHA at the top of our worst landlords watch list due to their constant negligence. And we've also cited the de Blasio administration as one of the worst landlords in New York City for their negligence towards NYCHA. I'll be putting that report into the chat. But outside of that, there's nothing to report on my end. I hope everybody's staying safe, staying healthy, and is ready to celebrate the holidays in a safe manner.
Polanco, could you please repeat that number again, please?
Yep, 212-669-7250.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And give our regards to the public advocate.
Will do.
we have Christina Calderon. Is she still?
Was that from the DA's office?
Yes, Christina.
Yeah, I thought I saw her.
Good evening, everyone. Apologies for that.
How you doing?
I'm well, and you guys? How's everyone doing?
We're all hanging in there.
I'm trying to share my video. I'm looking a little rough. Just want to say the DA. Just want to say that the DA wishes everyone a happy holidays, and that concludes my announcement for today.
Thank you.
Have a good evening, everyone.
And give her our well wishes also.
I definitely will.
Thank you very much.
Good evening.
Finn?
Wait a minute. We also got no. We have Justin from City Planning. Justin, you got anything to say?
So happy holidays. It's good to see everyone. And I really hope we can see you all in the new year.
Thank you,
Justin. So much. And thank you for staying on. We got a voting. We have Anita Reyes, and I also want to acknowledge that we have Ted Weinstein from HPD. So I don't know if Ted or Ted has anything to say, but if not, we can go to Anita.
No, nothing right now.
Okay, thank you, Ted. So we also have Anita Reyes from the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene.
Hi, good evening,
Anita,
everyone.
you there?
Ralph? Yes. Hi, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Thank you, Anita. The floor is yours. Yes, we can. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Hi, good evening, everyone, and thank you to Ralph and the chairman for allowing us to have some time tonight. I just want to speak about 3 quick things. The first one is just letting folks know that we are still seeing an increase in the Community Board 2. Citywide, we're seeing over 5%, and in some of the districts, neighborhoods, we're seeing over 6%. So this is really worrisome to the health department, and we want everyone to please continue what you've been doing, wearing your mask, social distancing, washing your hands. But if you're sick, home, unless you're going to go to the doctor. So that's one. Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. I heard someone speaking in the background. The second thing that I want to remind everyone, which Jose Rodriguez talked about, is about the vaccine. We want to make sure that New Yorkers know that the vaccines are safe, and that we want to make sure that it's easy for people to get it, and also that folks know that it's free and no barriers to getting the vaccine. And so maybe at the next meeting we could talk more about what we're doing. And so we have a phased approach of distributing the vaccine, and we're going to start with the healthcare workers first, which are at high risk because they're working like in ERs, ICU, and then we'll also have the frontline healthcare workers receive the vaccine, and then we're going to have a phased approach as to which communities. But definitely we want to make sure that equity is on the top of the list. Lastly, I want to talk about the holidays. We do know that the holidays are around the corner, and many people in our community love to celebrate. And so what we're asking you is that this year, please try to avoid any gathering. Try to avoid inviting anyone to your home. The best thing is for you to celebrate with your home family, so, the people that live in your home. We're asking you to please avoid traveling, avoid being out in big groups, and, let's work together on this because we are concerned and we don't want to have a second wave. We don't want to have the city closed down again. So I think we can all do our part, and we could all enjoy ourselves, maybe virtually, to see our family members, etc. So I hope everyone has a great holiday season, and please stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. And the same to you and to all your coworkers at Department of Health. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else, Ralph?
No, that's it. That's it. Yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah.
We will now be going into our next portion of the meeting, which is the committee's reports. Housing land use. Ms. Chair is Paula Fields Cañas.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm just going to briefly give you a synopsis of what happened at the meeting. We had a presentation from the city on the resiliency flood plan for Hunts Point because of the fact that we're near the water. And they had a discussion about what it is, what's going to happen, how it's going to happen. My report is in the notes, but since we don't have access to that, basically what it was, it wasn't a voting item, just let me mention, but it was basically to give information and provide information in case of a disaster, and that what the plan would be moving forward if we had another hurricane or hurricane warning, any type of disasters. And the plan is to have businesses and residents be able to put their property up, funding to support the seller and, make sure that the electrical aspect of the businesses and the residents were safe. And like I said, it wasn't a voter item. It was very informative. It was a PowerPoint. So if anyone is interested, maybe at a later time when the office is open, you can review it. We also had a presentation by Adolfo Carrion, the former Bronx Borough President, in reference to the agency Metro LLD, I believe it was. And he wanted to give us information on the project at 1125 Woodlock Avenue. And basically, the holdup from what his report was is that HPD, not that they just doing in-depth research on who's owned in the building. It was like 3 owners prior to this one, and the project hasn't even started yet. So he wanted a letter of support to send to HPD, asking HPD to review the finances to so that they could get the project started. And that was about it, outside of the interesting questions that the members of the board had and concern with the project. The project at 1125 Woodlock was still agreed to the stipulations that were mentioned at the first phase when the first owner came to. Yes?
I'm sorry to interrupt you like this, but it's come to my attention that, and I believe that there are some people from the STAG group on, that they stated that this building was supposed to be Ella, which is one of the programs that HPD has. But when originally it was presented to us, the first owner and the second owner, they had stated that it was going to be Ella and mixed. And that it was supposed to be 407 units when they told us there was only going to be 97 units. So I have a little concern of what's going on here. And there's no parking when the other 2 owners were going to establish parking for the residents.
Okay.
So is there anybody from STAGS on?
Yes, I'm on, Jay Martino, Mr. Chairman.
And Kathy Bradford's on too.
So when we purchased the project as 2 phases, and the first phase was always represented to be Ella, and the second phase, and Kathy, you may have more information on this, may have been mixed use, but it was always, first phase was always an Ella phase.
Yeah, the first phase was always Ella, and the second phase, they were waiting because it's a couple of years in the future that there may be other programs that are coming in to HPD that would be applicable besides possibly Ella or mix and match.
So when the first owner and the second owner made their presentations, they had said that they were going to keep everything as is. When we met with you, with yourself, and Mr. Staggs, it was represented that nothing has changed and that everything was going to stay the same. Now, I see that we don't have any parking. Nothing was mentioned about parking in this particular, in your presentation the other day. I'm sorry, Mr. Adolfo Carrion is on the air there. I'm sorry. So I don't know what's going on. Sure. When we met the other day, what was represented to us was that the building was an Ella building. However, the 2 previous owners had stated that it was going to be Ella and the second building would be mix and match, and that it was going to be 407 units. And parking that was going to be in the package. Now I hear from the presentation that was made to us the other day that it's Ella. Nothing was mentioned about the mix and match. Only 97 units was mentioned, and no parking was mentioned.
Having a little bit of a hard time. There's a little breaking up that's going on. I don't know if it's too much more. Can you hear me well? So yes, the basic elements of this project have not been changed. In fact, when we came to you in the interim, one of the things that we discussed with both you, the district manager, the council member, was that the way that this could work was for us to do 2 phases of Ella instead of Ella and a mix and match. We worked out with HPD because of the difficulty of trying to make the project financially feasible. The Ella program has evolved, as you know, and most people who are in affordable housing know that the Ella program has evolved to expand the bandwidth of AMIs. So it's now become almost a hybrid of mix and match and Ella. What HPD has done, and I don't know if there's somebody from HPD that's part of the call, but they could probably explain it as well. Where initially Ella was primarily an extremely low-income program for extremely low-income tenants, and then over time it's expanded significantly to include higher AMIs. In terms of the parking, as you all know, parking is not statutorily required, and I know that it is something that the community board wanted to have initially, and we all wanted to make it part of it. The difficulty with the parking was, how do we make it so that the project is financially sound? How do we make it so that we keep it affordable? How do we make it so that the costs are controlled? And unfortunately, we need to eliminate the parking, and that's the decision that was made. And I think when Mr. Stagg and I came to you and at the community board office many months ago, we did discuss that we might have to eliminate the parking just due to the cost. We had back and forth with HPD about this. It was almost impossible to make this project work with including the parking. And so that is the one element in all this that I would say has significantly changed. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear anyone else either.
I can't either.
I'm sorry, I have muted myself. Unfortunately, I know that you're saying that that's the only element, the parking is the only element, but in all facts is that it's, you're saying that both buildings are going to be Ella, and now it's both of them are Ella now, but in past it was Ella and mix and match.
You're right.
And so in true honesty, we have two different situations here. As it pertains to the Ella, that means that we need to know how much the 50%. Are we still talking about 50%? And is it still showing as 200 apartments for Community Board 2?
So the total number of units, and maybe Jay and Kathy can help me with this, but the total number of units has increased
Yeah, it went up to it's 276 and 277. I think it's 543 in total. We increased them, and that would increase the number of units that are set aside or given preference to Community Board 2 residents to have, more units to pick from. And I believe, again, Adolfo, on phase 2, HPD has not written in that we're definitely doing an ELA program. It's the fact that it's so far off. I believe that their programs were changing, and they asked us to use the ELA in our pro forma, but I don't think that that's set in stone at this moment.
That's correct. That's correct.
Pretty much always has been ELA.
That's correct. So yeah, in our deliberations with HPD, Mr. Chairman, we were asked to use LF to make this work financially. I think that those programs are not. I know those programs are changing. There's a significant amount of internal debate, but remember, Ella used to be primarily 30, 40, 50%, up to 60% AMI. Ella has expanded its bandwidth, and it's just based on reality. Now you can have an Ella project that exceeds 80% AMIs significantly, and it's something that I think at the end of the day the question is: are we delivering for this part of the Bronx affordable housing for working families? And if that's the objective, and I know that both you and the council member have been very concerned about displacement, have been very concerned about people, working families, kids who go to school, and can they come back to their neighborhood and afford the apartments? I think we achieved that goal. We definitely 100% achieved that goal.
I know that Ted Weinstein is on the air. So, Ted, well, before we go to Ted, so you're saying to me this, instead of the 407, whatever it was, we're talking about 530 units, 537 units?
543 units. I believe it was 276 and 277.
Okay, so how much of your total is on the set aside of the 15% of HPD?
So the 15% applies to the entire universe.
Right.
Of the 543, yeah.
Of the 543, so 15% of 543.
Right, in each phase there will be 15%. That is the requirement that came as a result of the council members' legislation.
All right, and so, I mean, we come out a little ahead, I think, but I need to hear from any of my other board members. I am concerned about the parking because right now, the only area where you can park at would be in front of your building, and if you're talking about 500 and whatever apartments, you figure at least 60% of that is vehicle owned, and I don't know where those cars are going to park at because, in true honesty, there's no it's crowded out there right now. All of Longfellow, all of 167, and all this. That's all jammed, with cars. So I don't know where that 60, and I'm saying 60 as being sort of conservative on this side. It might be even more than that. I don't know where these cars are going to be parked at.
We're sitting at the foot of the number 6 train.
Right.
Transportation is right there and available.
Yeah, I think the assumption, and HPD has been sort of advancing this policy, and the city has, which is if you have transit-oriented development, which is walking distance from train stations, you can provide less parking. I understand the reality, Mr. Chairman, that you're addressing, and it is really a financial question. It's really making these projects work, given the cost that it costs, to construct these things. I wish the city would say, hey, look, we have to kick in for this reality, but that's not what we're dealing with, unfortunately.
I understand that the city, will try and make it as less of a headache for them, but more of a headache for the community. That's the only thing that I'm saying. But nevertheless, Ralph, do you have any questions?
Mr. Chair, I know that there were some differences as you mentioned here, and I think they were worth noting to mention just to go on record. But this was a project all along that we've been wanting to see. It's almost going on 4 years now with this. But I think it's worth noting that you did mention what's going on there with the no parking and the additional apartments. But I'm ready to see this building up. So, but that's just my opinion, and I think you should open it up to the floor with board members.
I agree. Again, maybe this is for Stag and you, Dow. Maybe this is a position you could negotiate with HPD so that we can get the funding to start the building ahead of time instead of 4 years.
Yes, sir. And also, I think it gives us an opportunity in phase 2. Remember, there's 2 phases to this. So let's assume that we close based on the strength or letter. Let's assume that we close in December of 2021. We then start construction. Construction will take, and Jay can help me with this, but it'll take 24, 36 months.
We're looking at 24 months.
24 months. So if you start construction in January of 2022, you're talking about 22, 23. People moving into the first building in 2024. We have a lot of time between now and then, with the help of Ted Weinstein and other folks at HPD, to help negotiate some changes in phase 2 that might address some of the shortcomings that you're pointing out today.
Thank you. I just wanted to go on the record that there was some, I wouldn't say misgivings, but there was some information that I don't know if you guys knew about it. I'm sure that HPD did full disclosure, but if you looked at our stipulations, the parking was one of the stipulations. And my only concern is that the city, and meaning HPD, never came to the board and said, listen, by the way, on this project, I'm not blaming you guys now. I'm saying the city itself should have come to the board and say, by the way, on your stipulations on this particular issue in this particular building, we cannot do it. But we've never heard that from HPD. So even though Ted is online and Ted many times has stated to us the position of the city, but it was always the position of the city, not of the position of this project. So I just want...
Bobby, if I can say, can you hear me?
Yes, Ted.
Okay. That I think the point here is that I'm not going to comment on the individual significant changes that have been proposed now for this project from what was reviewed and approved, 3 years ago. But I think for the sake of transparency, it is good now that the community board is aware of these, because you might have thought differently. But it's and I guess most importantly though is that there have been no final decisions on any of these significant changes that are being proposed, and so therefore it wouldn't be HPD to come to you and say there are changes. I'm glad the development team tonight is acknowledging that there are significant changes.
All right. I thank you, Ted. And, I will go along with what the committee has stated. And and wished, and that is to go along and send a letter to HPD. Actually, I would like to send a letter to try and expedite this financially so that we can get it off our table as soon as possible. But I know that you made a commitment of jobs. You've made a commitment of working with us. You've made a commitment on the 8,000 or 7,000 empty spot. You've made a commitment to the tax group. You continue to make the commitment of working with the community board. So, I can't say much other than I really, I have some concerns about the parking. But outside of that, I think that we can move along on this particular project as represented by the chair of the housing group.
Mr. Chairman.
And Bob, don't forget.
It's Reverend John. I'm not sure if I heard it correctly. The speaker before you was saying that there is no significant change in the original plan. To him, it may not be a significant change, but to us in the community, it is a significant change. We needed parking to be made available. And the reason is because nightmare. And this particular project is going to bring in hundreds of new residents into the community. If people are struggling to park their vehicles now, where will the incoming new residents find space to park their vehicle? The time has come for them to stop dumping buildings in our neighborhood without making adequate arrangements. They will not pull the plug. If this project were to be in Manhattan or in Brooklyn, they will not pull the plug. Why do they keep doing it to us in the South Bronx? Is it because we tend to accept anything they push to us? It is not proper for them to say it's not a significant change. It will affect the quality of life of the people that live in the community now, and it will affect the quality of life of the incoming new residents. It is something that they should look for a way to fix.
So Reverend John, I don't want to cut you off, but I think that within our letter that we're going to send to HPD, we will strongly advise that. We will also CC the council member on it to see what can be done on this issue. You're perfectly right. But in all true honesty, we have to do something with that tremendous big lot that's on Whitlock. And that's all, as you heard from Ted Weinstein, nothing is set in stone as of yet. So I think that we can move on this motion with the stipulation that we will also include that we are strongly advising the city to put parking, and we will put the reasons why on that letter.
Good evening. Can I ask a question to
Sure.
one of the members of the group? So they said it was 543 apartments, but with 15% set aside. So that 15% set aside comes out of the 50% community preference.
So Paula, remember there's 15% that is required to be set aside for formerly homeless families, and then there is a set aside for a significant set aside, as we discussed in the committee meeting, for residents of the community board, geographic area. That is separate and apart and significant, and those two things stand alone. Yeah.
Just wanted to also mention the developers' commitment to having the seminars for housing for the people and the residents in the community.
And
Right.
we will definitely, we remember that, and it's front and foremost in our mind about coming in and arranging meetings through your office at locations and with, various times so we can get out the word to your community that the housing is going to become available. And we'll do that in a, early enough time that people can start thinking about that and spreading the word.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So the committee voted on it, so all I need is a second on this particular issue. Will anybody second this motion for the letter to go out with the stipulation stating that we strongly advise the city to put in the parking and to find the funding to do this? And we will CC the councilman.
I second.
I would like to step that up.
Who's that? I'm
De Jesus and Larry Robinson.
Okay, thank you.
So, Yvonne, I hope you take a note of this, Yvonne. So, yeah.
All right. With that,
got it.
Let's do it this way. Like I've always been doing because of the virtual situation, because if we try to do it the other way, it gets crazy. Is there anybody from this vote?
Reverend John, I abstain with a reason.
Which is that you want the city to look at the parking.
For parking should be part of the original construction.
Right. Which will be addressed in the letter that we're sending out. Is there anybody voting no on this? Is everybody voting yes on this?
Yes.
Yes. Yep. All right. So since there was no votes and one abstention, it will carry with how many board members? 26?
Yeah, we had 26 at the original roll call.
So 26 board members, one abstention, and 25 yay votes. Okay? Then reach out to Ralph because we need to put that letter together, and we definitely want to make sure that we put that one stipulation that needs to be addressed because I really do have a concern about parking.
Mr. Chairman, we appreciate it. We actually agree with you, and we toil over this all the time. I will say that Jay Martino probably is the biggest proponent for parking, including Mr. Stagg, because it is a challenge for every community. So we appreciate the fact that the community board has voted to move to insist that HPD close this deal and get the construction started as soon as possible. And hopefully they'll do it in June and not December, but that's up to them. But we will continue to work very closely with you. Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Mr. Borough President.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You still retain the title regardless of what.
And Mr. Chairman, you're the only one who calls me Dolph.
All right.
That's the only thing. I'm sorry.
Not anymore.
Statement.
Give me the parking, Jay.
I'll do my best.
All right. Well, the next item is the ECHO committee.
Hold on.
Thank you,
Hold
Mr.
on 1
Chairman.
second. Hold on 1 second. We got to jump back to resolution number 1 with the zoning and coastal flooding. So I know that Paula mentioned it. On here is just stating for the information, but there is something that we're going to need to submit back.
Yeah.
And I know that this is an item that's going to be voted also at our thorough board for you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that everyone had a chance to maybe review it, and if there's any questions, because I need to know what direction to file this as. Because it's not a letter, it's a portal that I need to just, if there are any recommendations that the board has given, or if they're objecting to it. So we need to submit that.
Okay, Ralph. Thank you for reminding us. at this point right now, I don't know if all the board members were able to view the
Well, at the committee, it was about to pass, but we didn't know the exact application number, which is listed here now, the N210095ZRY. So that's the actual number for this application, and that was the only hiccup that presented itself at the committee. So they did comply. Christina did comply and submitted it. So I'm just I want to make sure that at least we get a consensus if you're not going to vote on it, what direction to go with this, because I know our community board has a vote at the Bronx Borough Board on this, so we do need to take a position.
All right. Somebody's phone is ringing out there. Sorry, it was mine. Ma, call Jay. I'm sorry, it was my daughter calling from Georgia. Yeah, you're right. So I just need to make sure that this particular resolution is just basically stating that they are going to work on the waterfront in the Hunts Point area in the event of any major floods that are going to come before that would hit the Hunts Point area or any coastal area in the city of New York. Am I correct, Ralph?
Well, it's only changing the zoning. It'll prepare the zoning for more of a floodline protection from any major storms, superstorms that might come into the city. It's a citywide. This is affecting 59 community boards. Every community board in the city is voting on this, whether they're in a zone for a flood or not. But it's mainly for changing the zoning if necessary. And we have Justin also from city planning on. If there are any other questions. But it did pass at the committee, except for the actual application number, which we have now. So I think, we need to make a decision here and we can move on.
I need to hear, is there anybody objecting for me to go before the borough board and approve this, which would also force any new property owners that are going to come in and build in the Hunts Point area to make sure that they comply with the new zoning for flood in the Hunts Point area. Is there any objections? Any abstentions? Not hearing none. Ralph, I guess it goes unanimous.
So, thank you so much. I guess we can move on now to economic.
Everybody, but we had other elected officials on it, and it was just crazy. But Maria, you're on.
Good evening. We had 2 agenda items at this past meeting. We had the State DOT came and they presented about the Hunts Point Interstate Access Project, which is the Sheridan construction, and we talked about all of the traffic and issues that came about because of that. They stated that they were going to try to get additional traffic agents for our area, and I believe Ralphie Acevedo, the district manager, was going to give them particular locations where we felt that they were needed. I had seen traffic back up all the way back onto the Bronx River and as far as 149th Street, and so we felt having key agents in key areas would stop that from happening, as well as the time of year that it was. It was around Thanksgiving when the market was having a lot of traffic, had additional trucks probably coming in, and it was just the perfect storm between their lane closures, the construction, and large 18-wheeler trucks coming in. But they said that, a lot of that construction moved on and that they shouldn't have the same issues that we had again. But they would look into additional traffic agents for us and would also keep a closer eye on the market and their traffic fluctuations for the Christmas season. The next item, which is the only voting item, was that EDC came and they wanted to request a letter of acknowledgement for a project that they were doing, which was a renovation for Fancy Food inside of the Hunts Point Meat Market. This, would not have major traffic issues for any areas. It is within the market, and it's that they wanted to do like a add-on to their roof to increase their ability for refrigeration. However, in our discussion with them, the issue of the amount of trucks that they have coming in and out and their how many they have retrofitted to reduce emissions was a bit of a problem. And so we had a motion to give them the letter of acknowledgement. However, having EDC do more regarding truck retrofitting for the companies that work within there. Hold on, I could find the exact language. I'll tell you the exact language right now. I'm sorry. It was acknowledgement for the project with the recommendation for EDC to make retrofitting for less emissions for the trucks within the market, for Fancy Food and trucks within the market. So that motion passed unanimously within our committee.
It passed unanimously by the ECHO committee, so all it needs is a second from from a board member. Is there a second from the board member?
I second.
Barry Robinson.
Larry and Maggie. So
Barry
one of them
Maggie seconds it. So again, we'll do it the same way as you did the last one. Is there anybody objecting to this letter of acknowledgement? Is there anybody abstaining? So I will take it as a unanimous vote on this particular item. Ralph? I need the second page, Ralph. Thank you. That was the only thing Maria had?
Yep.
Yeah. Pastor John. You got 3 resolutions.
Yes, please. Can you help me?
Yes. The first one is a letter of no objection for I think everybody knows Georgina's Restaurant on 163rd. It's 1003 East 163rd Street. It's right off of Simpson Street, right down the block from the board. They're reapplying for a beer and wine license for their establishment. So Reverend John was the only board member there at the meeting. We took it to the executive committee on Monday, and it went unanimous at the executive board meeting. So being seconded by the executive board, being approved by the executive board, all we need is a second from a board member, and then we take the vote.
I second.
Seconds, resolution 1 for the FLP. So we'll do it again. Anybody opposing? Any objections? Any abstentions?
Miles, I abstain.
And I believe Cedric McCluster will abstain also. Am I correct, Cedric? Cedric, you on?
God.
But anyway, not hearing any out of 26 board members, I will put down that 24 voted yay on this particular item and 2 abstentions. Is that all right? Okay, resolution number 2, provide a letter of no objection to Khalifa Foods. It's at 355 Food Service Drive building. It's inside the produce market, and they have a beer and wine license, and they're renewing it as well. It was voted on at the executive committee. It was approved. And so all I need is a second on this, and we will then we can then take a vote, or if anybody has a question.
I second it. Sonia Ferguson.
Sonia, okay, thank you, Sonia. So we'll do it again the same way. Is anybody objecting or opposing this resolution? Is there anybody abstaining from this resolution?
Abstain. Cedric McCluster.
Cedric.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Cedric.
Abstain.
We know.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I will take that the 20 from the 26, deducting the 2 will make it 24. So I will officially put down that 24 votes voted yes on this particular license. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. Third resolution for FLP. It provides a letter of no objections to Millie's Corner at 1129 Longwood Avenue. Most of us have been there. The councilman has had his Christmas party there. We have had, I think the council, the 4-1 council has had meetings there. And so the committee, she made her presentation before the committee, the executive committee, and everybody voted yes on it. It went unanimously. So I bring it now. All I need is a second on this particular license.
I'll second. Jennifer.
Who?
Jennifer Coleman.
Oh, Jennifer. Okay, thank you, Jennifer. So now being duly second, I'll do it again. Anybody objecting to this particular license?
No.
Anybody abstaining?
Abstain.
Cedric and Miles, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then it's 24 yays and 2 abstentions, Cynthia.
I got it.
Thank you. So that concludes the FLP, Health Services. This is I guess I will have to take care of it because I know that Louis is not on today.
And Julia can't take care of it.
And Julia cannot take care of it because she works for Arch Care. A presentation was made to the Health Committee by Julia Cruz on behalf of Arch Care to send a letter to secure funding for St. Vincent de Paul at 900 Intervale to the state of New York on the Medicaid. This was sent back to committee the last board meeting, and they were prepared to answer the questions this time around. And so it was approved unanimously by the committee. And so there was, so all I need is a second on this issue. Larry, you got anything?
No,
Light on.
no, don't. By accident, Bobby. Sorry.
Anybody's going to second?
I'll second.
Jennifer again, seconds. Okay? Again, anybody opposes this letter? Anybody's abstaining this letter?
Because I work for Arch Care, yes.
Julia will abstain because of being a member of the staff of Arch Care. Who else?
That's correct. Thank you.
Anybody else? Not hearing none, I will say there's out of 26, one abstention due to employment reasons. So that's 25 yeses and one abstention, Cynthia.
Mm-hmm.
All right, V, are you on?
No, but he wanted me to talk for him.
Thank you, because I'm tired.
All right, so special events, we didn't meet this month because of COVID. We couldn't really do we couldn't really do our annual events, but we were thinking of doing a pop-up tree lighting with a toy giveaway, and the storm hit. So I'm waiting to see how the weather looks tomorrow, and my crazy self and V, if it's not too bad, we'll go give out toys. We'll just, you guys have to just follow our Twitter, not Twitter and Instagram, and we'll let you guys know if we're going to do it and when. But most likely, it looks like we may have to reschedule. But if there's not too much snow, I will be willing to go out with V and give a few toys out. So we'll just keep you posted that way.
No, Cynthia, you can count on me. I'll be there.
Okay. Julie?
Tomorrow, so I'll help you. Just let me know.
Yes, yes. All right.
Excuse me, can I say something?
Yes.
Since I'm part of this event committee, I will be there.
Okay, so just I will be posting something around 10 in the morning. If it's canceled, I'll still post something or reschedule.
Okay.
10 a.m. So just look at our Twitter and our Instagram.
Thank you. And thank you for keeping, the community at mind because of the snowstorm. We don't know how bad it's going to be. Upcoming events, anything else, Cynthia?
No, just the precinct is having their event on Sunday, but it was supposed to be Friday, but because of the snow, Sunday.
Right.
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Any old business? Any old business?
No.
Any new business? Any new business?
No.
Any announcements? Any announcements? The only thing I got to say is on the announcements is that I want to make sure that everybody in Community Board 2 who can apply for Yankee Fund money, please do so. This last year, there was not a lot of groups, and I'm sort of shocked. And a lot of other communities got money that they shouldn't have. So I'm just keeping that out there. Other than that,
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I want to say that it's not that we did not apply. I am sure that Word of Life did apply, but we were not considered. I got a call or an email from Victoria saying that they will not consider us for this particular round or cycle.
It was probably because you was already on your third year already.
No, we did not apply for the grant for the past for last year, and we made sure that we did not apply for it consecutively. And according to what she said, all the money had been disbursed, and we should reapply. So I just want you to know that there were organizations that did apply, but they were not given.
Well, that's why I'm saying that. That's one of the unfortunate things because other communities benefited out of what should have been for our community.
The money that they should have given to some organizations in our district and give to other people.
It's supposed to cover the entire borough, but primarily 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you apply late, and we've already passed the deadline, then in other organizations from other committee boards applied early, they're the ones that get considered. That's what I'm saying.
We applied way on time because
I'll find out from Veronica what happened. Okay. With that, roll call.
All right, guys. Before I call your name, I just want to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. Make sure you're safe and enjoy. With
Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, just in case.
Yes, that too. Sorry. Thank you, Cynthia. With that being said, I'm going to try to do this as fast as I can. All right. Elvis Austin Jr. Evelyn
He's on the phone. I'm sorry. He's here. Elvis is here. Afterwards.
Evelyn Arauz.
Happy holidays to everyone.
Thank you. Miles Burnett.
Here, thank you.
Luis Castillo. Conyers.
Here.
Stephanie Cordero.
You can hear me?
Ooh, I'm sorry. What happened?
Stephanie's here.
Paula's here.
I got Paula.
Okay. I'm here.
Oh, yup. Altagracia Cruz. I'm here. Julia Cruz. Here. Sandra de Jesus.
Here.
Ferguson. Anya Ferguson.
Here.
Scott Gomez.
Kevin is here.
All right, Kevin is here. Scott Gomez, he's on the phone, right?
Hello?
Pasquale, yeah.
Hello?
Greg?
Victoria's here.
Oh, not here. Jesse Harris. Here. Saquon Hunt.
Here.
Jennifer Kelman.
Here.
Corn. Here. LaShawn Lindsay. Talia Simone Lindquist.
She's on the phone.
Roland Lopez.
Okay, she's here.
Roland is here.
I'm here. Cedric Cluster. I know he's here, right? Monique Bennett. Here, Reverend Moses.
Hello?
Yes.
Mary Lee's here.
Okay, Mary, we got you.
Thank you. That was nice.
We have Reverend Moses. Madam
I'm sorry.
Reverend Moses?
We're at Reverend Moses, so continue. Okay.
Lynette Olmo. She's on the phone. Please.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Safe holidays. Yes, it's me, Lynette.
Andy Robinson.
Here.
Richard Sherman.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Same to you, Richard.
Nancy.
Still coming down like crazy.
He has to leave early.
I'm gonna check to see.
Marilyn Rowan, I know you here. Pastor John Udu.
I'm here.
All right, that's it. Good night, guys. Happy holidays.
Wait a second.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Good night. Happy holidays.
Be safe.
Happy holidays.